tried meditation. You sat down, you closed your eyes, you tried to clear your mind. And your mind immediately went to the thing you said 3 years ago, the bill you forgot to pay, what you need to make for dinner, whether you locked the front door, and 17 other things in the first 45 seconds. Still. So you sat there longer, tried harder, told yourself to focus, told yourself to breathe, told yourself you were doing it wrong. And eventually you stopped. Still, you were not doing it wrong. Meditation is genuinely difficult, and for a mind living under chronic overstimulation, it is often the wrong first tool entirely. Not because meditation doesn't work, because of what it asks you to do. Still, it asks you to sit in the middle of the noise and simply observe it. For a calm mind, that works. For an overstimulated mind, that is like asking someone drowning to study the water.
Still, here is what is actually happening when you try to meditate and fail. Your brain has a network called the default mode network. It activates during rest and inward attention. It is responsible for self-referential thinking, memories, worries, plans, regrets. In a calm brain, this network settles during meditation. But in a chronically overstimulated brain, the moment you turn inward and try to observe quietly, the default mode network intensifies. The very act of watching the thoughts makes the thoughts louder. Still, you were not failing at meditation. You were fighting your own neurology. And you were never going to win that fight by trying harder. Still. So here is what actually works. Not silence. Direction. Still. A chaotic mind does not need to be emptied. It needs to be given one specific thing to do. Something manageable. Something low stakes. Something that occupies just enough attention to give the noise somewhere to go. Still, think about the last time your mind went quiet naturally. Not because you forced it, because something absorbed it. A walk you didn't plan, a task with your hands, something that required just enough focus to pull you out of your own head without demanding anything significant. That was not an accident. That was your nervous system finding the edge of the storm. Still, you do not calm a storm by standing in the middle of it and telling it to stop. You find the edge of it. The edge is where the noise meets a single point of focus. That is where the quiet begins. Not at the center, at the edge. Still. 15 minutes, one of these 3, every day. First, slow walking with no destination. No phone, no music, no podcast. Just your feet and the ground beneath them. Count your steps if you need an anchor. Not to get anywhere, just to move with one point of attention. Still. Second, continuous writing. Whatever is in your head, write it. Unfiltered, not for anyone, not to be good, just to move the noise from inside your head to outside it. 15 minutes of the pen moving, not stopping to think, not editing, just moving.
Still. Third, counted breath. Not to clear your mind, not to achieve a state, just to give your mind one job. Breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 4, out for 6. Again, the counting is the direction. The direction is the point. Still. One of those 3, 15 minutes, not to reach silence,
to give the chaos somewhere specific to go. And here is what happens when you do this consistently. The chaos does not disappear, it shrinks. Because a mind with a direction does not need to process everything at once. It knows where it is pointing. And everything else, just for these 15 minutes, is allowed to exist without being engaged. Still, that is all focus ever is. Not the absence of noise, the presence of direction. Still, Epictetus said it plainly. Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. The chaotic mind tries to engage everything. Every thought, every worry, every open loop. It cannot help it, because no one gave it a direction. The directed mind chooses one thing and lets the rest exist without pulling it away. That is not a meditative state. That is a decision. One you can make in 15 minutes, starting today. Still, you were never bad at quieting your mind. You were just never given the right tool for the kind of mind you have. This is the tool. Still, 15 minutes today. Pick one of the three. Walk, write, breathe with counting. Do not aim for silence. Aim for direction. If this finally explained why meditation never worked for you, drop one word in the comments. Direction. The next video in this playlist goes into something most people have completely accepted as normal. The inability to sit in silence for even 2 minutes. And why that acceptance is costing you more than you know. Subscribe to Vision Vortex. Every video here is one thing, helping you think more clearly, feel more in control, and live without the noise. Still, lead, become.